Jeff Simon here for Social Flight with something truly unique here at AirVenture 2023. How are you doing? I'm here with Matt.
Yes.
Matt, this is your baby, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh man, tell me the story of what you did to create the Back to the Future DeLorean here. Truly amazing.
Well, it's been a dream car since I was a kid. Of course, since Back to the Future came out, that was a car that I always wanted. And then growing up, that car really wouldn't go away in my dreams. And and then in the 90s and the early 2000s, the car is a thing you can still get.
Right.
And I just kept on dreaming and watching the prices. And but what really solidified it was I have a coworker that has a DeLorean, and he gave me a ride through it, and he did a underneath frame restoration and showed me what that's about, what it's like to own one and maintain one, and I was just eating up every bit of that. And this was about 10 years ago.
This is amazing, yeah?
And so he also, he said, by the way, I'm working on the restoration of the movie car. And he gave me hundreds of photos of all the parts that go on the car.
Wow.
Would take major dimensions on it, each piece, and how they were mounted to the car. So I had those photos for 2 years before I was able to get this car. And the catch was, when I got this car, I had to do a frame off restoration myself.
Yep.
And that's a long story by itself, but these frames were dipped in epoxy when they made them, but now after 40 years, that epoxy doesn't stretch, it cracks, and that's moisture in. So that's the nature of these cars.
But you finally got your hands on one and did a complete body off frame restoration, and then you had all that stuff to reproduce. So what was the process like of creating the Back to the Future DeLorean?
That got fun, because I did the first the restoration for the first winter, then the following winter, which was your average 6 months, but every day I would start on it. I would just work on one part at a time. That's really one major part. You got your major parts that wrap around the car, the deck that holds all the main parts, and then the side corners.
Mr. Fusion.
Yeah, I started out the plutonium version first, and then by 2015 I had to have Mr. Fusion on the car, like by October 21st. That's what the date. Then all the interior parts, one section at a time.
Open it up.
Yeah, so it works just great as that goes, and so each piece, was just a major piece. And once I got it done, I worked on the next piece. But each piece has a cardboard pattern where I would make a template, reproduce it out of cardboard, and then I would trace onto aluminum, and then put it together.
Wow!
So I got all the patterns still that I had to fabricate it from.
So this is, in here you've got everything. You've got the countdowns. You've got all the stuff that's in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is truly amazing.
It's close to the original intention of all the major parts, but let's say, for example, this elbow fitting here, it's not the exact piece that would have been on the movie car, but there is an elbow. So I just went to the hardware store and bought likeness parts that.
Well, to me it looks perfect.
Sure.
So that's fantastic. Well, listen, great job. It is, I love it. It's one of the great things to see here at AirVenture 2023, roaming the grounds.
Yeah.
I'm going to go grab the camera and give you a quick peek inside as we do that before we wrap up.
And then if you want to take a look at this here, that sun visor was signed by Christopher Lloyd, Doc himself.
He actually got in and signed that?
He signed it, yeah.
That's awesome. Are you able to power that? I'll go and or just turn it. I'm going to go grab the camera and show you inside.
Flux capacitors fluxing. I can even open up this door. He's taking a video.
Well, you can't get much cooler than that here at AirVenture 2023. I'm Jeff Simon for Social Flight. Blue skies.